Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nourish Your Body YouTube series. My name is Dalia Ayesh. I am a registered dietitian, a functional medicine practitioner, and I currently have a virtual private practice where I help women nourish their bodies, reclaim their health, all without restrictive dieting. I am also a nutrition professor and a bookkeeper, believe it or not. I'm very excited to teach this series. I love nutrition. I love educating, so this is just perfect for me. I'm very excited to bring this to you guys. So what will we be talking about in this video? We did the introduction about me. We'll going into functional medicine and quickly talking about what that is, since it's such a big part of how I practice. I'm going to help you determine your own calorie needs. We'll be talking about metabolism, do's and don'ts of metabolism, signs you're under eating, signs you're eating enough, and what to do if you've been under eating. So let's jump right in. But before we do, just a quick disclaimer. This is all for educational purposes only. I won't be giving recommendations tailored to one specific person. However, I will be providing you with the tools that you need to help you determine this stuff on your own, right? So use the information in this course in a way that makes sense for you and your lifestyle. So what is functional medicine? Functional medicine is an individualized and holistic approach to healthcare. It involves the understanding of preventative medicine. It addresses the root cause of chronic disease, and it emphasizes the restoration of health, right? Getting you to your optimum health. Functional medicine does not denounce conventional medicine. Instead, it's very inclusive in all ideas, modalities, interventions, so that we can bring the best to our clients and help improve patient outcomes. Functional medicine practitioners, including myself, consider everything there is about you: your genes, your nutrition, lifestyle, gut health, stressors, environment, everything. I love functional medicine, and I think you will too. All right, let's get into chapter 1, determining calorie needs and metabolism basics. Quickly though, I just want to let you know that sometimes I use calorie and energy interchangeably. Okay, so in my mind, they both mean the same thing. Okay, so let's get into this. I'm sure by now you've had everyone in your life try to sell you on what diet is the best diet for health, right? Oh, I've tried this diet and that diet, and Thanksgiving dinner, your cousin's talking about the diet that she's on, and it's gonna happen. It's happened before, probably. There's so many different types of diets out there, and we'll get into a lot of these too. We'll talk about controversial topics as well in the diet realm. But from the top of my head, we have the ketogenic diet, the paleo diet, plant-based, carnivore, intermittent fasting. The list goes on. My head hurts when I'm talking about these diets. The reality is that there is no best diet or one-size-fits-all approach to nutrition. There just isn't. Okay, that's been thrown out. We're not doing that anymore. The one thing that we all have in common is that we are all different. We have different metabolism, and we're going to talk about what that is. We have different genetic makeup, right? Different gut microbiome, different cultures, different preferences, different religions, right? Different lifestyles. All of these things have to be taken into account to find what the best diet is for you, right? So, questions to consider when choosing the best diet. Ready? How does what you eat make you feel? Okay, the attitude that you have towards your food matters, right? That mindset matters. If you're eating a salad because you heard it was healthy for you, but you hate eating salad and you're not enjoying it, that's a red flag that that diet is not for you, or that salad is just not what you need right now, right? There's a saying that it's better to eat the wrong food with the right attitude than the right food with the wrong attitude, right? Just eating a salad and like crying like as you're eating it, it's depressing, right? I used to hate salads. I had people used to come to me and ask me, how are you a dietitian and you hate vegetables? Now I love vegetables because I cook it a little differently and it tastes really good. So just kind of alter that a little bit. It's no basic diet over here, no basic salads over here anymore. Next, what foods do you enjoy? Because I promise you, you can still eat the foods that you love and still have a healthy diet. I promise you. Next, do you have any health issues or are you at risk for one? Right? If you have diabetes, there's going to be some things that you have to change, some diet modifications that you'll have to do, right? Or heart disease or something like that. Have you dieted in the past? What's your diet history like? Are you a chronic dieter? Do you snack? Are you an emotional eater? All those things are really important to identify. What's your lifestyle like? You know, sleep, stress, exercise. Are you an athlete? Do you have an office job? Do you sit down like all day, every day, right? Are you crazy, stressed out? We all are, but you know. What are your health goals? That's a big one too, right? Not everybody's trying to lose weight. So Sarah over here trying to sell her 1,200 calorie diet, like, go away. I'm not trying to lose weight. You know what I mean? There are so many factors that contribute to what your nutritional needs are, and these needs change and evolve over time, right? So like when you were younger, your needs were probably around 1,200-ish calories, and that might have been enough for you then. But as an adult, that is extremely low, right? I tell my clients all the time, 2,000 calories minimum. 2,000 calories minimum per day for healthy hormones, healthy digestion, high and good energy levels, right? No more 1,200 calorie diets to lose weight. It's not necessary. Okay? So as we get older, as we evolve, as we grow, our nutrition and diet will also change. So expect it to. Expect your needs to be different as you get older, because nutrition is never static. Neither are you, right? So food is medicine, food is energy, food is information, and food is communication. So what you eat and drink isn't just fuel, right? It's important. Fuel is important, but it's not just that. Food communicates directly with all of the cells in our body. Food can tell your cells to store or burn fat, preserve or lose muscle, increase hormones or increase inflammation. It can optimize your immune system, right? If you eat too much or too little, or you're not making the right food choices, or if you're not able to even just digest properly and absorb your food the right way, all of that impacts your energy, right? And it impacts your health. Food can also control your genes. There's a saying in functional medicine that your genes is about 9%. It makes up 9% of like your risk of developing a chronic disease. And a saying is this, that your genes is the gun, but your environment is the trigger, right? So food, lifestyle, stress, environmental factors, all of that pull the trigger of your genes. It turns them on and turns them off, right? We can influence how our genes are expressed. So just because diabetes runs in your family, you're not fated to have diabetes. Just because osteoporosis runs in my family doesn't mean I'm meant to get osteoporosis. I have control over my health, just as you have control over yours. Okay? You can control your fate and your genes by modifying your diet and lifestyle, improving your gut health, and lowering inflammation in the body. Okay? There are a bunch of other factors too, but we'll focus on these two factors for now. So some quick facts for you. In the US, we are overfed, but we're undernourished. Isn't that crazy? We're eating enough, but we're not eating enough of the good stuff, right? We're eating a whole bunch of calories, a whole bunch of fat, a whole bunch of like processed protein and things like that, or sodium and stuff like that, but we're not even close to eating enough vegetables, eating enough fruits, eating enough whole grains, like things like that. We're not, right? It's all high fat, high sugar foods, McDonald's, pizza, chips, candy, Chick-fil-A. It's all that other stuff, which tastes real good, tastes really good, but it's just not cutting it for us. It's just not what we need. It's not what our body needs, right? What we eat and the quality of our food matters. So the Western diet is just made up of all of these refined foods, sugar, seed oils, right? And as processed as our food has gotten, the prevalence of chronic disease is also skyrocketed, right? And there is a clear correlation between the two, right? So most, if not all, chronic diseases are caused by poor diet and lifestyle. And of course, there are other factors as well, but those two main things, a lot of these chronic diseases that you see today, diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, kidney disease, etc., they're all diet and lifestyle related diseases. Okay, what is a calorie? So a calorie is a unit of energy. To figure out how many calories are in a food, they take food and they burn them in a lab. And then the amount of heat that is released is used to determine how much calories is in that food. And all food is made up of calories, right? When counting calories and trying to determine what your needs are, nutritional labels are a good way to count, right? Nutritional labels use calories to determine the unit of measurement, and everyone needs calories to survive, okay? So calories are needed to heat the body, to pump our hearts, for our brain to function, to move the body, to maintain blood pressure. It's used for every bodily function, right? It's even used to replace our hair and our nails. If we're under eating, you're gonna have some hair loss or brittle nails happening, right? Myth number 1, a calorie is a calorie. This is a myth. Not all calories are created equally. So the calories in olive oil, for example, do not have the same metabolic response as the calories in sugar, right? Both of these foods cause completely different metabolic and hormonal reactions. All calories are not equally likely to cause weight gain. Okay, so we'll talk about weight loss and all that stuff later, but just remember that not all calories are the same. A calorie is not a calorie. So your ability to maintain, lose, or gain weight is essentially controlled by your metabolic rate and total energy expenditure. So what does this mean? So the amount of calories that you need depend on how much energy your body uses every day, right? Calories in, calories out, right? This depends on your age, gender, activity level, height, and weight. It's also determined and influenced by your dietary history, your hormones, and overall health status. I think I actually have a slide here that shows factors that influence metabolism, right? Your age, body comp, gender, hormonal status, climate and temperature, illness and trauma, life cycle stage, and caloric intake. So I'm going to walk you through how to estimate your calorie needs for maintenance calories, how much you need just to, not gain or lose weight. But this is just an estimation, so no calorie calculators are perfect. They don't know this information, or at least not all of this information. They don't know your history. They don't know the medications that you're taking, your health goals, or anything like that. So use all of this information as a guide and then adjust based on how your body responds. Okay, let's go back to this slide. So total energy expenditure. In order to understand your metabolism, you have to understand the components of your metabolic rate, right? This includes your basal metabolic rate, your physical activity, and your non-exercise activity, and then your thermic effect of food. So what is BMR? So BMR, we all need a certain amount of calories a day to survive, right? This is the amount known as your basal metabolic rate, or your BMR, right? Like when you wake up and let's say you have an Apple Watch and automatically it tells you how much you burned and you were just sleeping, like that's what that is, right? Your BMR makes up about 60 to 75% of your total energy expenditure, how much energy you use a day. And this can change based on any disease, state, illness, infection, injury, or even medications can alter this as well. It can also be affected by calorie intake or calorie restriction, meaning your metabolism can slow down with caloric restriction. Okay, this is why we plateau, right? This is called metabolic adaptation. This is why we plateau and we stop losing weight after we've reduced our calories down, and now we can't lose weight anymore, right? Next, you have your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's what NEAT stands for. This includes activities that you do that are not planned workouts, right? This includes walking, playing with your kids, cleaning, just taking a stroll or pacing while you're on the phone, tapping your foot, whatever it is. And this can significantly impact your total energy expenditure, which can help you maximize your weight loss without adding additional exercise, right, or activity. Your physical activity, this is different. This is planned workouts like weight training, cardio dance sessions, yoga. These are planned workouts. And how many calories you burn during exercise depends on the type of exercise, duration, how long you're exercising, and the intensity of the workout. It also depends on your environment. So you're likely to burn more calories if you work out outside. It's kind of like that hot yoga, right? You burn more calories in that hot environment, right? And then next you have the thermic effect of food. This is always fun to talk about. Basically what this means is this is the calories that you burn from eating. Yeah, you burn calories eating, right? It takes energy for your body to digest and absorb nutrients. About 10% of your total energy expenditure is from thermic effect of food. Okay, you can't really adjust this that much, but science does show that it does take more energy to digest certain foods than others. For example, it takes more energy to break down a whole apple than apple juice, right? Your stomach has to break down the apple even more. Apple juice is already pre-digested, right? So it's easier to just absorb that really quickly, right? Also, in general, though, foods higher in fiber and protein have a higher TEF. So you could possibly increase this just by incorporating more fiber and protein into your diet. So overall, your calorie needs are based on your TEE, which is BMR, your NEAT plus activity, and plus your thermic effective food, right? And this number can change every day based on daily activity, based on workout intensity, based on the different types of food that you eat. Okay, it's also influenced by your life cycle stage, right? Whether you're a child, teen, pregnant, breastfeeding, or if you're an older adult, typically that BMR is lower, okay? Okay, so how to calculate your needs? First thing you do is you use a calculator. I use a calculator, and I'll show you which one that I use. My favorite equation is the Mifflin-St. John equation. It's not perfect, but it is the most easiest equation, and it's the most accurate. I'll share with you the link to my favorite calculator, and possibly we can put it in the description box. So you calculate your BMR, which is right here. I'll show you this. So you'll calculate your BMR, and then you will multiply your BMR to your activity level, and then you get your total energy expenditure, right? Again, this is just an estimation. Here's one that I use. Her name is Laura Schoenfeld. Love her so much. This is the link, and you kind of just fill this information out, and then she'll give you how much needs are per day. So you'll calculate your BMR, multiply it by your activity level, and then you'll try it out and see if you like it. So I'm not a huge fan of counting calories, but I do think it's important for us, especially those that undereat or those that tend to overeat, right? I don't currently count my calories or weigh my food, but at this point in my life, I know how much I can eat and how much I like to eat, and I will teach you about signs that you're eating enough, and I tend to use those signs for myself to gauge if I'm eating enough, right? So I don't think counting calories is very sustainable. I don't recommend it, to be honest with you, but I think initially doing it is helpful. You get some really good information by doing it in the beginning, comparing what you typically eat versus how much you're supposed to be eating, right? So I like to do this for my clients too, kind of seeing where they're at typically in their diet and comparing it to their calculated needs. I recommend just carrying like a food journal for 3 days and seeing how that compares to your calculated needs. If it's higher, then you want to reduce your calorie intake to the maintenance goal that you calculated. If it's lower, you want to slowly increase your intake to meet your calorie needs. And the reason for this is because if you quickly increase your calories, you run the risk of gaining weight. And we don't want you to gain weight too fast. We want to help your metabolism adjust as you increase your intake, right? And once you meet your maintenance needs, follow it for like 2 weeks. Get a hang of like what that looks like. So you don't have to count every single day, but just kind of getting a hang of what that looks like. And then tracking if any changes occur. If you've been on that maintenance goal for 2 weeks and you notice that, hey, I'm losing weight, then you're actually might be in a caloric deficit, which means you're really not eating your maintenance goal. You're eating less than that. If you notice you're gaining weight, you might be in a caloric surplus, which means you're eating more than your maintenance goal. So again, just adjusting it depending on how you track your changes, right? So keep on top of it, and I'm sure you will find exactly what your sweet spot is. All right, your metabolism and why it's important. Okay, so your metabolism is the process that your body uses to convert the food and the drink into energy, right? The number of calories your body uses to carry out the function of converting food and drink into energy is referred to as your metabolic rate, okay? I'm sure you've all probably heard about the mitochondria. That's what it looks like. I put a little picture over there. It's a small organelle in our cells, and it is the powerhouse of the cell. It's a structure in every cell, and it extracts nutrients, carbs, protein, fat, micronutrients, vitamins, minerals from food, and it creates energy, which we know as ATP. Okay? The cells in our brain, our nerves, our heart, our liver, and our muscles have the most mitochondria because they require like the most energy, right? They perform a lot of functions, so they require a lot of energy. And the mitochondria can be prone to damage pretty easily in times of like poor nutrition, high stress levels, high toxin exposure, right? So we don't want poor metabolism. We don't want poor mitochondrial health, right? And it's one of the reasons why we have premature aging, okay? And we can also have wrinkles, premature aging, wrinkles, weight gain, poor mood, unhealthy hormones, and really low energy. Your metabolism is so much more than just your ability to lose weight. It is the total of all the processes going on in our cells 24/7, right? It gives you life, right? It offers you steady energy levels, a stable mood, healthy hormones, fertility, regular digestion, a warm body, right? And strong, healthy skin, hair, and nails. So metabolism don'ts. We hurt our body, or we hurt our metabolism by under eating, over exercising, staying up all night, going low carb, or going low carb for a long time, saving calories for a dinner party, coffee on an empty stomach, not managing your stress levels, overdoing the cardio, eating a low protein diet, and eating a diet that's high in sugar can just wreck your metabolism. I mean, I remember doing some of these things myself. Now I know better, but I remember doing this stuff. Metabolism do's, okay? This investing and like supporting your metabolism looks like eating enough consistently, eating nutrient-dense food, right? Prioritizing veggies and protein and, what am I thinking of? Those starchy vegetables, right? Thinking of those like phytonutrient, colorful plates. Yes, nutrient-dense food is the way to go. Keeping blood sugar in check. We will talk all about blood sugar very soon. Building muscle is very important. Sleeping 8 to 9 hours a day at least, okay? Getting your vitamins and minerals in, managing your stress, doing more things that make you happy, eating high quality protein, and we'll get into what that means, and increasing daily movement, right? But healthy movement. And we'll also talk about exercise too, and what I would recommend as being like the best type of exercise that you could possibly do. So some fun signs that you're under eating. 1, you experience regular food cravings. 2, you're tired all the time, and then you hit this slump in the afternoon, right? Like you crash after lunch or something. You have trouble falling asleep or even staying asleep. You have low or no libido. You have very low body temperature and like cold hands and feet, right? Cold extremities. You're always thinking about food. You lack muscle growth and strength. You have some constipation and bloating going on. You have fatigue during and after exercise. You don't recover very well after exercise. You might even have some hair loss, some mood swings, and you can't lose weight despite trying very hard to, right? and signs you're eating enough. You wake up hungry and you get hungry for meals. That is a sign of a healthy metabolism, right? You have this steady energy all day. You don't have those highs and lows, just steady. You have really good restful sleep, strong libido. You feel warm. Your body feels warm, right? 97.8 waking temperature, and then it rises in the afternoon. You look forward to the meals, but it's not like overly obsessive over food, right? You get energized from exercise and you're able to gain strength. You have regular formed bowel movements and you can easily maintain your weight. When you notice that you're able to maintain your weight, it doesn't fluctuate so much, you have a great metabolism. Really, really good. So if you have been under eating, what do you do to kind of help with that? So you want to slowly start increasing your intake. I know I mentioned that before, but really just trying to enforce it. Slowly start increasing your intake. Don't just go from 1,200 calorie to 2,000. That's too much too fast. You want to start focusing on adequate protein at each meal. So that looks like 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal. If you have been intermittent fasting, start by adding in a breakfast. Include a healthy fat source at all of your meals and slowly increase your carb intake. Okay, keep carbs for last. You don't have to just eat all the carbs. You want to slowly begin to add snacks if you feel like you need to have snacks. If you don't, then you don't need to eat snacks. And a really good sign of a healthy metabolism is that hunger will often begin to increase. Like you'll notice that, hey, I'm hungry in the morning. Oh, I'm getting hungry at lunchtime, right? It's a really good sign that you're making good changes and good progress. Awesome. So we just finished this course, this first session. I love this. I love this class. I love this topic. Next up, we have Macros 101, right? We've talked all about calories and metabolism, and we get our calories from carbs, protein, fat. So in the next chapter, we'll be doing a deep dive into all of the macronutrients, what they are, what their functions are, and how to determine how much you need. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I can't wait for next time. Bye.